Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So it's time for a bit of an update, but also I think a teaser of videos to come on the channel as we get towards the end of this year. And I'm pretty excited about the content I've got planned. I would say there are 6 sort of what I would call the bigger type of videos that I've got planned, the long form videos between now and the end of the year. The first of those possibly will be a sort of one of my Christmas type celebratory, like I did last year. I did a Q&A as well as some thank yous and a roundup of the year, and I was thinking of doing exactly the same this year because that turned out to be fairly easy to do, and it's nice to have one of the videos which is a lot less work to do because it's sort of, a bit more chilled out, a bit more freestyle, whereas the other 5 videos I have planned are much more like require a lot of preparation and work and editing and so on. So it's nice to have a video that's actually very easy to do, and that video last year was easy to do and it was also very, very enjoyable too. So on that note, for that particular video, which like I say could be the first one I do, I may leave it actually a little bit close to Christmas now, thinking about it, slightly changed my mind on the spot. But if you can let me know any questions you've got for me, they should be on topics relating to the channel. So if you're not aware of the topics of the channel, I'll briefly cover those. Anything really music related. I generally love rock and metal the most, but anything music related is welcome. Also, you can ask any questions about horror films. And then also fantasy and fantasy books stuff. That's a very broad spectrum, but that's the sort of general content of the Green Man channel. So let me know any questions you have about any of those topics. I'll be happy to answer those. Once again, may not do the same next year because I don't want to do exactly the same thing every year, but I just enjoyed doing it last year. Felt it was enjoyable to do and a fairly straightforward one for me a video for me to record. So that's why I thought I'd fancy doing that one again. Obviously, it depends on questions. So if there are no questions at all from you as subscribers, then I'll just do a sort of roundup of the year and maybe some thank yous and leave it at that. That's how I will do the video if there aren't any questions in the comments of this particular video. So again, just to emphasize, if you've got any questions for me, drop them in the comments of this video, and I will answer those in the actual Christmas kind of video, the sort of Christmas celebratory video that I do on an annual basis. Next up, I'm going to tease what these big list videos are that I've all got planned for you all, and I am quite excited about already because I've actually recorded 2 of them. And I am excited already about the 2 videos that I've recorded. One of those is a big, huge horror film ranking of all 24 horror films that I've watched in the past year. And that video was a bit of a marathon. That video I'm going to put up on the 7th of December. I'm going to premiere that then, so maybe make a note in your diaries if you fancy watching that. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting that up uploading it on YouTube soon. It has been recorded, as I say, but still some editing bits and pieces to do. I'm unlikely to see any more horror films this year, and I thought 24 was just a nice number because it's sort of, it's 2024. I've seen 24 films, so that kind of works. And on a similar note, I'll also be doing a top 24 albums of 2024, a video which I haven't recorded yet deliberately. Now, here's a couple of things with this one. Last year, I think I just recorded it too early, but I did have a good reason to record that video early last year, that my laptop was genuinely failing, or at least it had a problem with the fan making lots of noise, and that was giving me trouble with videos, and so I decided to take that and get that fixed at a local store. Managed to do that, so luckily it didn't affect end of year content too much, but it meant I rushed my year-end list a little bit more than I probably wanted to deep down. And there were a few albums which I came to listen to in December that were absolutely phenomenal, that were not on my list, that would have been, I'm sure, in retrospect. Now, the other thing about that list is that there are still 1 or 2 albums that I actually think I want to check out before I finalise my list. So it's kind of annoying when there are albums in December that mean you can't. But at the same time, there are probably reasons these albums are coming out in December. So I'm happy to wait, even if it means maybe there's less traffic or whatever. It's more about creating a list, I think, which is as good as it can be for you guys watching the channel. So I'm looking forward to doing that list and recording it. Hopefully, probably shortly after the 6th of December. I'm looking at about the 10th or 11th of December. But I don't want to fix that in stone yet, set that in stone, because there may be things that determine that video going up. But I wouldn't want it to be too late in the month. I certainly think I want to get it up no later than a week or so before Christmas. So that's the plan with the top albums of the year list, which is always the big one. I know that's the one that usually brings me the most traffic out of all my year-end videos. So I'm obviously looking forward to doing that one as well. Another video which you guys, I'll let you choose whether or not you wanted this, and there was 100% yes vote for this, so it's unanimous. I will be doing this video of a ranking of the films I've seen which aren't horror, so outside of the horror genre. And I'm pretty excited about doing this because, you know, it allows me to maneuver outside of horror. Sometimes it's good to actually watch things that are other genres, and I am a filmie. I like films that aren't just horror films. I watch a lot of films in a year. So although I don't think this list will be as long, it definitely won't be as long as the horror list, because horror is obviously probably my favourite thing, but or my favourite type of film, but there's a lot of other films I do really enjoy, and I think you get a sense of what other kind of things I like to go and see, and how I rank those in a list. So that'll be a non-horror film list, which I will probably publish maybe Saturday the 14th. It will certainly follow on from the horror list. The horror list is the first one that's going to be going up. Another video that I'm thinking of doing on the music front is maybe a top 5 EPs this year. I don't usually do EP lists. There have been a few I've really enjoyed this year at least. So I was thinking of doing that as another sort of list video before the end of the year. A relatively straightforward one to do if it's just five EPs, and rather than these big long lists of like 24 or 20 things that I tend to do at the end of the year. So that's a bit easier to do and to record. And a final video that will probably, I'm thinking, you know, when everybody's got that quiet period between Christmas and the New Year, I'm probably going to put up my top 10 favourite indie films of the last 10 years. That video is actually already recorded and done. It's one I did a little while ago, but I thought it would be a really good one in that period between Christmas and New Year when no one's doing particularly much usually, unless you're working, of course, and you have that misfortune. But, you know, I think of putting it then, and, you know, I think that video is one of my best lists possibly I've ever done. These 10 films are really, really... I'm biased. I'm totally biased, but I think it's a great list of films that is a great variety of genres as well. You know, these are going to be non-horror independent films again, because I always talk about horror on the channel. But these 10 films are a mix of romance, dramas, action, thrillers. There's a mafia thriller on there. There's just some really, really awesome films that are absolutely... as I say, I'm very biased, but you know, if you like films, and particularly if you like independent films, then I'm obviously going to stress. I feel like video he's got some absolutely great films on, and one or two I've spoken about before on the channel, but yeah, that list I'm quite proud of. Actually, I'm genuinely proud of these 10 picks. This is a great list of films. Like I say, I'm biased, but I think it's really amazing, that list. So that'll be for dropping on the channel at some point between Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Not quite decided on that yet, but that's probably the last big list of the year. It will be a top 10 indie films of the last 10 years. So thanks very much. I hope you're enjoying me since my content since my return. I realised that was a long time of a hiatus. You know, it was pretty necessary for me, to be honest, though. It was a very productive time, even though things didn't quite work out for me, and trying to get the move completed, and I've almost gone back to square one in some respects, unfortunately, but that's just how things have worked out. But thanks, guys, for supporting the channel as always. I will do a bit more of a sort of maybe a thank you and a bit more of a video, even maybe, you know, touching a bit more on the hiatus, but I'm not doing that now. I don't think that's right for this video, which is just meant as a teaser of things to come on the Green Man that I'm excited about. I hope you guys maybe are a bit excited about this as well. Really, like, these lists are looking good so far. So anyway, from me, until next time, it is bye for now.